Good morning, America. This is Dr. Cherry from the Arizona with another very interesting newsletters. Yeah, I look more like a pilot than anything else today because my eyes are kind of still sensitive since the surgery, and the light is bothering me. So I gotta now and then, when I cannot see too well, take them off if it's too dark, whatever. So yeah, I think of people like airplane or beautiful shuttle. They all want to fly high. They all want to be experiencing being above everything and being happy and reaching all their wishes. The only problem with those people is that they do not want to learn all the complexity of the technology involving the airplane. They don't want to do the study involving the airport regulation, the heavy duty mathematics, the aeronautical maps. They don't want to do anything of that. So if these people manage to take off, of course, they're going to kill themselves. And that's what I represent in some ways by trying to raise you into cosmic consciousness. All I'm trying to do is to help you to fly in a realm that is very real. That's a realm where God speaks to me through the signs. This being said, you know what? President Trump and Melania upcoming divorce. I decided to talk about this a little bit today. Of course, I made a newsletter a long time ago about my expectation of those guys splitting in time. But before, let me put my heart where it's supposed to be. Today's 9/11, and a lot of people died in the name of terrorism. And since now America has left Afghanistan, a lot of people are worrying about what's next. Are they going to propagate their religious belief and somehow impose a Sharia laws and bring us back to the Stone Age by treating women less than dogs and killing people because of their own religious values? Well, guess what? Americans are not stupid. You're talking about the most powerful country in the world here. It'll be a big mistake to think America lost the war. Believe me, Americans, you did not lose the war. But you got people who have brain. They want to take all of us, all American, out of this nest of evil, where the dance of evil just began, okay? So that they can clean it up when the time is right. So do not be thinking that your country is weakened to the eyes of the world. If they want to believe that Americans have lost the war in Afghanistan, so be it. But I would never, ever dare to think that way, knowing this is the most powerful, the most incredibly wonderful country on the planet as designed by God. That is my words, and don't forget it. All right, now, sad enough. Today you must acknowledge one of my visions that transpired on the exact given date of 9/11. And remember, this window just started. It's not over yet, okay? So please read carefully my warnings. Today, sad enough, we had a Sikh man murdered right here in my state, in Arizona gas station. And that reveals another tragedy of 9/11. As I said, somehow will this happen again? Well, it did not happen in such a big way, killed so many innocent people, but it did happen in his own way and during my windows. That tells you that I have something and you must pay attention. And remember, okay, something that I have repeatedly written and mentioned in my videos: crazy infected people will kill innocent soul during those Plutonic window where the reptilians reign supreme. This nasty group of reptilians is after the police, government official, and children and people of all age when you look at it. And again today, the news can only confirm my vision, my good friend. And you will witness more crime against the police and the public that you have never experienced before once that window, once that dragon moves and is in progress, is in void, of course. The new dragon, Scorpionic dragon, is all about death, drama, rebirthing, or the dance of evil that I have mentioned so many times if you followed me. But this does not mean that we are going to die and then there is no hopes anymore. Don't think that way. God is in charge. The message is clear. If you're in the wrong relationships, okay, if you're in the wrong place, in the wrong job, there is no other way than to die out of that situation, to die from that person so you can rebirth like the eagle above. This is a perfect example that I took today in reference to President Trump, ex-President Trump, and his wife. Now, using astropsychology, I can bypass your logic. I can bypass imagination, conspiracy, fear, and even science. Now, everything is dictated by your 5 logical, limited human sense. Now, did you hear about the opposite attracts? Of course you did. And in this case, Donald Trump and Melania Trump's natal karmic UCI, Unique Celestial Identity, cannot be more different. All right, now let me tell you something. I was married to a Taurus. And Taurus is ruled and controlled by a planet called Venus. Venus is the goddess of love, beauty, and the art, all, of course, what Melania is all about. And I was doing a TV show in Las Vegas. And then Taurus traditionally are attracted to earth signs. So my ex-wife was attracted to this guy who was doing the TV show, and he was born in September. So the attraction and the chemistry was absolutely incredible, especially knowing that this guy was also born with the tail of the dragon in the 5th house into the sign of Virgo, which happens to be my wife's seat of attraction. This is how it works when you're educated, because you understand when you're cosmic conscious, don't get me wrong, why the human attraction and chemistry comes from. So these guys, okay, my back did what they had to do. And of course, when we drove home, she was crying because she felt very guilty. And then I thought, well, after 12 years of marriage, maybe I didn't perform the right way. So anyway, I was so much in love with my wife. I said, you know what, forget it. I'm just going to go for a drink and I come back and we're going to discuss, you know, the thing will be just fine. That's how I thought it was going to be. But, you know, on the 7th house, which is the way she faced the world, or Melania faced the world, she becomes a Scorpio. So when I came back a few hours later, she took the Mercedes, she took the cat, a couple of suitcases and a couple of credit cards, and she killed me, literally killed me. She disappeared. Completely and entirely disappeared for 3 months. I didn't know where she was. I was able to trace her through the credit cards. And when I tried to go back to her, I was dead. So this is what I'm trying to say. Okay, so Melania is very sophisticated. She's classy. And on top of that, she has the moon in Capricorn, which means she has a drive to raise to the top and being recognized, social climber. Okay? And in Capricorn is very planning, very structural, very organized. That's why those born with the moon in Capricorn, or if you have a strong Capricorn, you're going to like classical music and you're going to be like an engineer of planning. Okay, remember the negative aspect of Capricorn is also I use and abuse. So in many ways, she happens also to be a Virgo dragon's tail. The tail of the dragon is in Virgo and it is in the 5th house, May, June, July, August, September. The 5th house is the house of love, romance, and creativity, which means naturally she's going to attract the wrong partner. Now, Virgo is fussy, picky, critical, literally antisocial, fault-finding, into health. And Taurus is into home, family, food, and security as a rule, okay? The most domestic sign you can get. Now, compared to Donald, Donald is a Gemini. He's all over the place. He talks too much and she doesn't talk. Secondly, his tail of the dragon of President Trump is into Sagittarius, which is a bull in the china shop. no manner, rough, egocentric, bullying. It's just the way the stars are. So those two guys are so very opposite that it's just a matter of time before they split. And since the dragon is moving in the house of marriage of the first ex-lady, bye-bye. Okay, now there is much more to it. And that's why once the new 2022 Nostradamus Dragon Forecast, universal and personal, comes out any days now, you're going to learn much more about every sign of the zodiac. But those who are going to be touched 150% will be born in May and in November, because that's where the dragon is. Now remember, we have elected a president, President Biden, which is Scorpio. Scorpio is the sign of life and death and drama like there is no tomorrow. And this is why he is facing climate change, okay, which is costing millions, billions of dollars and killing people. He's facing a pandemic that is killing thousands of people, that screw up the economy. And this is one of the reasons why he says enough is enough. American first, okay? We are getting out of Afghanistan. And if these guys get out of order, we're gonna just erase them all from the face of the earth. So that's what I was saying earlier, but there is a way to say things that a president cannot say, but Dr. Cherry can. I don't care. Well, you know what? When I saw and predicted the terrorist attack in Paris and the terrorist attack in New York, and I had 4 young FBI agents, 30, 40 years old, that came in my house, you know, I could have done the same thing with all that happened now. But I don't want those guys to visit me again and think I'm a sleeping cell. I am here for you. I'm here to educate you. Now, in the newsletter that is, of course, generated with that video, it is critical for you, as always, to go and take the time to read it, because there is more information about President Trump, Melania, and anything else for that matter. And in fact, Trump was born with his moon, which is the emotional response of life, not in the sign of Capricorn, which is, you know, private, okay, secretive, manipulative, but in Leo, the king of the zodiac, bigger than life. And this dragon's tail in Sagittarius is oblivious, it's monstrous. I mean, you're talking about the biggest planet of the zodiac, Jupiter, in charge of President Trump, dragon's tail. And then this does not mean I don't like Trump, Obama, the Clintons, Bush. I don't care. I keep repeating to you, my good friend, I'm an astrologer. That's what I do. And I take people that are famous. Now, if you become the president of the United States, be sure I'm going to scrutinize you and expose your psyche or your UCI or your unique celestial identity to the rest of the world. That's what I do. That's why when I take care of people and they face me on Zoom, okay, I don't spare nobody. I tell them the good and the bad. Remember my ultimate rules: positive, negative, up and down, black and white, the front, the back, God, devil, the yin and yang. Okay, 2 eyes, 2 arms, 2 sides of the brain, the reptilians, the draconians, the good guys and the bad guys. Do you understand what life is all about? The yin and yang. You cannot have balance without opposite. So when I do a reading, I really exaggerate the good and the bad about you. So this way you can apply the part of God in you, which is your will, which is stronger than those planets and those dragons and anything that you, the solar dust, the interstellar dust that you're made of. Then you can control those stars. You don't have to be a robot, a zombie of your stars and act out your idiosyncrasy once you understand the strengths and the weaknesses of your sign. Leo, for example, Trump was born with the moon in Leo. Leo is all about love and light in children, fame and the stage. That's where God wants you to shine. We understand that. Okay, without the sun, we all die. During the day, every planet shies away. But if you come here today, and walk on my pool deck, you're going to burn your feet, which means the sun can burn. The burn means over-loving people or being obnoxious or being egocentric and in burning. Okay, this is how God wants me to shine. Being a Pisces, you count to Leo, okay, March, April, May, June, July, August, Leo. I'm a Leo in my 6 hours of work and service to the world. That's where God wants me to shine and to have a stage. So when I go out, what do I do usually? I'm on stage, and what do? I give love, I give light, and I teach all the children of the world. And you can be 80, 90 years old if you know less than me. You are my spiritual child. All I'm trying to say is wherever you have your Leo in your chart, okay, because you're not just a Virgo or Gemini, Sagittarius, Libra, or God knows what. You are every sign of the zodiac. So once you get to know the strengths of your sun in a very specific house, use it carefully, because that's where God wants you to build the stage, find love, light, fame, and happiness. That's what I did. It's simple as that. Knowledge is power. Ignorance is evil. Now, there are all sorts of interesting information that I have in this newsletter. Okay. And to those of you who did not just yet watch my movie, Divine Astrology, well before President Trump, battled to get re-elected, I said it will not be re-elected. While all over coast to coast to him, a chain of George Nori guests was promising you that he would be re-elected. COVID-19 was a joke, okay? And COVID-19 will last forever. That's what you got. Not me. I told you in my movie, well before anyone, that Trump will not be re-elected. COVID-19 was not a joke. Okay, and it will end once the herd immunity is established. That could be early January 2022. You're not going to live forever with this pandemic. It's like a bad cloud, a bad weather, which is slowly but surely being pushed away by much more progressive winds. Now, this tail of the dragon in Scorpio will force you to die and to rebirth in a very specific house. And I put it publicly today that this nasty tail of the dragon will kill President Trump's and his wife's marriage, and will put a hell of a lot of stress to the president that can pay the ultimate price in the process, since the tail is going to be affecting his health and his work area. Now, will he rebirth from his ash and become the president of the United States again? Of course, if the reptilius pushes him in that direction, and they'll try anything legal or illegal to get to power again. Okay? Or will he suffer the consequences of so much stress, so much legal disputes, so much problems with all his family and his kids? Because he doesn't care about anything but pushing himself back to the power. If that means losing his wife and having war with his kids, guess what? The ego is overstrong in President Trump's chart. And everything that transpired with the United States, okay, just a few days after he got elected, I wrote everything down in great detail and make specific quatrain. And if you have a little bit of critical thinking, you can only acknowledge and realize that all that I saw came to pass. So be ready, my good friend. There is quite a lot of interesting things in that video. Watch it. If you did not, again, watch Divine Astrology, watch it. If you did not watch my movie on UFO, understand what the reptilius agenda is all about and what the draconis agenda is all about. And remember, you cannot have a good without a bad, a day without a night, a God without an evil. And it's a choice that you have to make. If you raise your cosmic consciousness, if you're positive, if you are hoping caring and giving love and light to yourself first, okay, and to others. If you're not envious, if you're not jealous, if you participate with love, now you are, and you are literally stimulated by the benevolent arcana to work for love, for light, and you're part of that light. You're part of the future. You're part of hopes. You're part of the good change that are imposed by God, cosmic design. Now, if you decide to let the reptilians get you, you're going to be nasty, jealous, insecure. You're going to be starving yourself of conspiracy stuff. You will have no faith in science, no faith in no one, no faith in yourself, to the point where you're going to ingest so much negative material that you're going to become a flathead. A flathead means you are going to live only with junk, like you stuff yourself with McDonald's until your heart blew up. Okay, all I'm trying to say, careful what you ingest, mentally, physically, spiritually. Okay, I have to go down to all this nasty soup, this nasty mess that we're in every day. And then from there, all I'm doing is to bring you back into that ego, because ultimately every one of you has to die, hypothetically speaking, and rebirth into the ego. This is the part of this incredible, powerful dragon that's coming, and it's already in effect. Now, because this dragon has somehow forced Americans to remove themselves from Afghanistan and give that place the rat nest where the dance of evil is taking place against human, against women. Okay, no respect, just death and drama and control. Well, let it be. Let it be, because in time, all that is nasty, we have to go. It's just the way it is. And I don't think the reptilians will win the battle at the end. So don't think that everything is over. It's the wrath of God. We are finished. Don't think that way. Do not feed the reptilians with fear, insecurity, chaos, and death. Listen to me, okay? The future is nothing else than the reincarnation of your thought. Keep them up. Keep them positive, because there is a plan for each one of us. And as a child of the universe, there is no accident for you to be born right here, right now, with a specific set of stars. Now, the more you know about your stars, the more power, the more control you have over your destiny. And if you're not happy, like I always say, it's because you do not live your destiny. And that's where I am. I am here to guide you. I'm always very busy, so be patient. I'll take care of you face to face, okay? Remember, keep yourself, keep your head off the water, because these times are very difficult right now. This is why people get depressed, antidepressant, they shoot themselves and they shoot everybody. They just, the reptilians are so very strong, and they're going to get worse. And now you know. And since you know, you're going to work with me, and you're going to use the same psychical tool that they use. You're going to send good thoughts to you when you talk to you, when you see your future. Okay, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. Visualize what's ahead of you, and you'll be there, because that's the law. Remember, the future is nothing else than the reincarnation of your thought. Put your hand on my book, Beyond the Secret. During those very negative times, it will help you to understand the mechanics of the superconscious and how you can become anything you want, providing you understand to use the forces that God gave you. But if you're not curious, you ain't going to get nothing. Remember, it is only when the student is ready that the real gifted teachers will be there. And I am here for you. All right, pay attention to the next SOS to the World window. Okay, it's going to be all about shocking news, surprises, and explosion. It's on September the 17th. I'm experiencing earthquakes, maybe tsunami. I'm expecting all sorts of news that are weird and different and explosive. Okay, now I will of course write a newsletter, and as always, even if you read any of my newsletter, go back to it, because the newsletter that I wrote for September 11 for today, okay, this window is still on. So the negative news are going to come back here. I'm going to put them here. So I want you to keep an eye. So come back to any of my newsletter and listen to my video, and please be part of the solution. So let me thank you for listening to Dr. Cherry today again, okay? And let me thank you for sharing my work. Because if you help me by sharing my work, okay, You are now part of the solution. You're part of the light, and you're working with the draconis, not the nasty reptilians who wants you to suffer and die and not survive. You can't let this happen. Not under my watch. All right, my good friend. One more time, thank you so very much. I apologize. My eyes are a little bit reddish today. Okay, and with the light in my face, so became a pilot today. All right, God bless all of you, and then we talk to you again. So stand by for another newsletter for the shocking news in time. Bye-bye.